Do BTech percentage matter? Do they play any role in your career while getting your first job or switching or in any part of your later career? Do 10 percentage matter or even your 12 percentage? Have you ever thought this? Let's say they matter, then how much percentage you need? What score is perfect? How much effort you need to put in order to secure that? Like, is it okay to cheat if you want to secure that kind of percentage? Have you ever thought? So I am Achintya Gomath. So in this video I'm going to answer all of these queries of yours. Please watch this video till the end. This is very important topic that you need to know. Many engineers regret it that they didn't know it in the time. They always know it either in final year or after passing out the engineering. So please watch it till the and I will also tell you about the ideal percentage that will help you clear any company, any placement on campus, off campus. If you have that percentage, you will be eligible for all companies which recruit in your college or off campus. I will like to explain it with the help of a story. Before we start the video, I would like to make a humble request. Kindly like the video. We are taking a like target of 250 likes. You guys are really nice. You help us achieve all our targets. So please like this video as well, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so far. So students who are watching this video, out of them 42.3% students don't subscribe. So I am telling you an exact number of the last video. So please subscribe to the channel as well so that you get to know about all the latest video. Let's understand this with the help of example of two students, Ram and Sham. Ram and Sham are appearing for interviews. Ram has percentage of 86% and Sham has percentage of 67%. Why 67%? Because if he has less than 65, he cannot appear, because companies have a eligibility criteria. Percentage is an eligibility criteria. It can be 60, 65, 70, 75 depending on different companies. Let's say Ram and Sham both clear their written and reach the interview round. So whom will the interviewer appreciate more? Definitely Ram. He has a higher percentage, so percentage gives you a clear edge in interview. Sham's lower percentage will not matter. If Sham can give a convincing answer to the question why his percentage is low, he can either say like he was busy in development, internship, he has made lots of projects, so then it's okay. Or he can say he was busy in coding, he was good at code forces, he can demonstrate his coding profile, then it will not be a problem. So net you can say your percentage is not a key criteria, but if you have a good percentage, it will definitely be a edge while recruitments. Now you can say it's not a good criteria, a company should not look at it, but it is the reality. It's not going to change. At least by the time you go to final year for placement, it's not going to change. So morals is good, idealism is good, but you need to be practical as well. So the question is, do BTech percentage matters? Yes, they matters for the eligibility criteria for companies visiting for your on campus as well as off campus. I've given you an example how they matter for on campus. Companies have different criteria of 60, 65, 70, 75% up to 80% as well. For off campus as well, they take percentage as a criteria. Imagine a company hiring off campus, they have like 10,000, 20,000 applications. So what they do, they have these ATS tools, I hope you have heard about. So they put the criteria of percentage. So top percentage student, they call them first, they give them a priority in their selection process. So your percentage matters for your first job on campus as well as off campus. Will percentage matter throughout your career? No, percentage only matter for your first job. For wherever you want to switch to a different company after your first job, it will not matter. Nobody will look at it. It will not matter then. Do the percentage of 10th and 12th matter? The percentage of 10th and 12th matter as much as your BTech percentage matter. It is only taken as a eligibility criteria. Most of the company has a only criteria of 60% of 10th and 12th. Very rarely some company will have like 70% or 80% 10th and 12th. Very rarely, like out of 1 or 2 company in 100 companies will ask for 80 or higher percentage in 10th or 12th. Majority company only ask for 60% throughout of 10th and 12th. Okay, students who don't have 60% in 10th and 12th, I have seen they have struggled a lot, because majority companies have 60% as a criteria, and students who don't have, they struggle a lot. They have to struggle a lot. I am repeating it many times, because they have to seriously struggle a lot. They are not able to sit in many companies. Now you can ask a question like why companies take percentage as an eligibility criteria. So think from the perspective of company, what kind of parameter they can take, like which will apply to lakhs of students. Like they are evaluating thousands of students. One company is evaluating thousands of students every year. All companies are evaluating like 3-4 lakh students every year. So percentage is a uniform parameter which is available for every student. Like every student has a percentage. Like some student will have development, some will have coding, but percentage is there with everyone. Second, it's also depict consistency. Like you have to study regularly every semester, every month, every sessional, every semester exam if you want to have a good percentage. Third, they also think like in a parallel world, like if you have higher percentage, it means you have higher knowledge. Okay, so if you have higher percentage, which means you are a smarter student. Some companies believe it. I know it doesn't, it's not the reality, but some companies believe it. So these are the 2-3 factors because of which they take percentage as the eligibility criteria. And it also matters in interview rounds as well, in mass recruiters and some other companies, because when they are having a clash or a confusion whether to select this student or that student, the student having higher percentage will be given some advantage. Now we talk about the most important question, like what is the ideal percentage or score that you should target as an engineer in order to be eligible for all possible companies. So different companies has a criteria, as we have discussed. Mass recruiters have a criteria of like mostly 60%, and some companies 65%. Companies offering 4 lakh, 5 lakh, 6 lakh, they have a criteria of like 65% mostly, in some cases 70%. Companies offering like 7, 8, 10 LPA packages, they have criteria of mostly 70% and sometimes 75%. Some top companies like Microsoft, PayPal, Adobe, Google, they ask of criteria of 80%, 8 CGPA, and they also consider some students who have like 75% as well. So when you get an idea of what company is asking which percentage, now you can target what company is your target, so that percentage will be an ideal for you. But if you want to ask me which percentage will increase my chances, so I will say if you score above 70%, so there will be more than 90% companies in which you will be eligible. But as an ideal percentage, I will recommend you to score at least above 75%, because that will be a very good percentage to show in your resume for off campus as well. If you have CGPA, then 8 plus CGPA is very good to reflect on your resume, because 8 pointers are good to present yourself in an off campus scenario. In percentage terms, 75 plus is a good percentage to have. If you want to target 72, 73, that's also good, but ideal according to me will be 76 to 77% and 8 pointer CGP. How to score this kind of percentage, how much you have to study? So it depends on person to person. Let me give you my example. I used to score like 72% in my college time. That was good enough. Almost all company I was eligible to sit in, 70% plus was the criteria in most company on campus in my college. So I used to study just 10 to 15 days prior to the exams, final exam. I used to never study for sessionals, internals. I used to just 2-3 hours prior to the exam, some group study, etc., no assignments, etc., just copy paste. So that's much I used to study to score 72%. So as a criteria, if you want to score around 70 to 75%, you can study just 10 to 15 days prior to the exam. That will be enough, and you can skip studying in sessional in the classes. That will be enough to score 70 to 73%. If you are just good, if you are a quick learner, then 10 to 15 days are enough. If you want to score like 75, 76, 78%, 75 to 80% gap, then you have to be slightly regular in the college. You have to be regular in your sessional exam, internal exam. You have to score good marks in that. You have to score good in your assignment, because without those internal marks, you cannot score 75 or 76%. You have to start your semester exam preparation at least 1 month prior. 15 days is good for 72%. For 75 to 80, you have to study 1 month prior. That will be good. So that will much will be enough to score 75 to 80. If you want to target 80 above, then you have to be consistent from day one of your semester. You have to study in class. You have to be attentive in the class. You have to study all the topics, all units, all chapters, previous year paper, sample papers, mock papers. You have to practice everything, standard books, local writers books, everything you have to study. You have to make assignments properly, notes properly. So you have to be literally become a bookworm. I hope you can understand what I mean. So 80 plus is very difficult. If you want to score, it's up to you. So in short, for 80 plus, you have to study throughout the semester For 75 plus, you have to study 1 month prior to semester exam, and you have to score good in sessional and assignment. For 70 plus, you can just study 10 to 15 days prior to the semester exam. That will be good enough. Now to the question of, is it okay to cheat? Let's first understand what is the need of cheating and what is the utility. You cannot score 80 plus marks by cheating. Let's be very clear. You cannot score 75 plus marks by cheating. Okay, it's not possible. You cannot cheat that much. Like इतने भी बेवकूफ़ नहीं होते invigilator कि आप इतना लंबा cheating कर लो और उनको पता ही ना चले. So you cannot cheat that much. You can only cheat either 65 plus or 70 plus with the help of cheating. So if your target is 70 plus, I've already told you have to just study 10 to 15 days. तो बहुत थोड़ा सा पढ़ना है, बहुत ही सिंपल से सब्जेक्ट्स है, तो क्यों चीटिंग करनी? थोड़ा सा पढ़ लो, just study a little. I never understood the logic behind cheating. Like, you know something is important, you write it down on a paper, you write it down in your hand, you keep in your mobile. So why don't you just memorize it? If you know something is that important that it will come in an exam, why don't you just memorize it? So I never used to understand the logic behind cheating. Okay, so I will recommend to not cheat. There is no purpose behind cheating, to taking so much risk. Let's say you get caught, get scolded, get suspended from college. So many risks are there, so there is no point. If you want to score 65-70%, please study 10 to 15 days and you will very easily score. I hope I have covered all the questions related to percentage, eligibility criteria, cheating, studying, etc. If you have any query, please ask in the comment section, or you can WhatsApp me. I am always open to take your questions, so please take your BTech percentage very seriously. Many students skip this question, skip this part, and they regret it later. Thanks for watching this video till the end.